Keep rising, yes. Hey, welcome to Spinner Swallow Beer Review. I'm Shagdog.
Here.
Yes. And PABrewsNews tried to go get a Imperial Stout to match me, but of course, yeah, the store he went to ran out of the beer he wanted, so that happens.
Yeah. I have one more here, but that's not for me. That is for the lady friend, so I cannot touch that. But no more is coming, and I will buy all of it when I get there, when it comes in.
All right. I'm doing a Wake Up Dead by Left Hand Brewing. It's an 87 by Beer Advocate Russian Imperial Stout, 10.2% ABV.
I was extremely impressed with. I haven't had that in years, but I remember the first time when they first brought it out, and it was just a 16-ounce bottle. It was I think it was a bomber of Wake Up Dead, and it was had a cool skull logo on it and everything like that. And I was just blown away by it. I thought it was really, really awesome. It looked different than that. That's definitely a little bit of a newer look to it.
Updated, yeah.
But I got a simple old other half. All Everything Citra. And the only reason I bought this is because it was made in 3/10/23, so less than a month old, which is rare for PA to get a lot of back in the day. You could never get anything fresh. I mean, I used to get beers that hit the shelf already 6 months past their date.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But now it's like, oh, fresh beer, I'll buy it. I'll check it out. So here we go. This is a double IPA, and I'm assuming only used Citra. All right.
Yeah, I think this is the first time I had this one, but then again, with me and Jammer might have done this one a few years back. We've done so many beers, I can't remember.
They have a whole huge left-hand pack has like a huge pack of those nitro beers, all different versions of kind of like a pastry version of every single one of them. One like cinnamon, milk, and all like a whole bunch of different ones I saw before. That's Haze for days. Let's see. Yep, just an Imperial IPA at 8.5. Single hopped with Citra. So it is interesting. This was something that started a long time ago, like with McKellar, doing single hop style beers, where it was only one beer and it was a showcase of hops and stuff. Now it's kind of they kind of do it all the time now, lots of brewing companies, but I remember McKellar really starting that trend. Let's get an aroma. How does yours smell?
Smells good. With yours, 99 on Beer Advocate.
Oh,
consider a New England IPA. And they actually say dry hop All Citra Everything is a standard of All Citra Everything, double dry hop with an extra dose of Citra lupulin powder.
Mm-hmm. Cool. We'll see about this 99 horse shit.
Yeah, 99. Usually the ones that are like 99, 100s, 98, I usually don't give it a high. The ones that are like 80, I'm like, wow, this is like a 95. Yeah, so
yeah, exactly. Because everything should be subjective.
Yeah, there's a couple that are high on Beer Advocate. Oh, like, wow, that is like a 95, but there's very few. Now, I'm getting a little bit of cocoa smell in this, but almost like a dark chocolate on the side, like a little cocoa powder. Pick up the alcohol a little bit. What the hell is this? 10.5?
10.2 or something? 10.5?
But not overwhelming, but smells pretty good, though.
Yeah, this is really nice. I'm definitely getting grapefruit, almost like an extra ripe pineapple, mixed with a kind of like a tangerine mango vibe a little bit. Nice breadiness, a nice earthy pepperiness. This is smelling pretty goddamn good.
Yeah, this smells pretty. I usually a lot of Imperial Stouts. I mean, some of them are just too overwhelming for me, but some of them I like a lot. But then it's like just the alcohol is just too high. I'm like, one or two of them, I'm good to go.
I think that was the thing about that vampire squid that was so nice. It was 12.5, but yet it completely hid the ABV.
It does have a little bit of a black licorice taste in there. but it's just like a hint. I mean, it's not really a black licorice taste, but it gets to a certain part of your tongue, and like, is that black licorice? But then it just disappears real quick. So I think it's probably the alcohol with the chocolate taste in it. Probably confusing the brain.
This has got a nice little oiliness to it, a little bit of a piffiness. I would say it's a bit thin, my personal stage, because it is an Imperial. However, it does overall have a little bit of a pillowy mouthfeel, which is pretty interesting. I said the overall beer, though, is a bit thin, but because it has that kind of just a regular body of an IPA, but with like lactose in it and stuff like that, and a little bit of a bigger body. So, but there's a sweetness to this beer that I did not expect that I really appreciate.
Yeah, this one's not too bad for a 10.2. I'm not really fond of high ABV stouts, but some of them are good. It's just they're too overwhelming. But this one doesn't feel like a 10.2. It's coming off like a little bit lower, like a 7 or 8%. The mouthfeel, the taste, and everything.
This one is, let's see, like you already read it, but like a hazy IPA. A hazy Imperial IPA highlighting single hop variety of Citra, notes of lychee, which I don't know what that tastes like, so I wouldn't even begin to, there's some people that are like, oh, I'm getting passion fruit. Well, what's a passion fruit taste like? Oh, I don't know. Well, then why are you saying it? Like things like that. I would never see lychee because I don't know what lychee tastes like. Sweet orange, I am totally going with. There is a milk sugar sweetness in here, like a lactose sweetness that I'm picking up. That's really awesome. But in the back of the palate, there is kind of like that soft hint of that Florida orange juice, that really unsweetened kind of Florida orange, that tanginess that I'm picking up. It's really super awesome. A classic other half Citra bomb, it says. So there you go. So now it's definitely a good beer.
Now I know you're into the harder heavy metal bands, right?
Yeah.
What's your top 5 bands? Go ahead.
Top 5 bands. Oh, Jesus. Top 5 bands would be Dark Throne, Immortal, Deicide, let's see. Dark Throne. Let's see, like Dark Throne, Immortal, Deicide. I was a big Cannibal Corpse fan, but I don't know if they're like my favorite. I like Isengard quite a bit. And a new band I found out about a long time ago I really got into was Grima from Siberia. Pretty good. Yeah. Just blacked up stuff mostly. I mean, I'm a big fan of like classic rock and oldies and stuff like that too, but like for the big black metal, death metal fans, a lot of that stuff.
I was hoping you went like with those bands you went with, like 4 of them, and then all of a sudden you just threw Poison or something in there in the middle. Yeah, and Poison.
Fuck Poison. I'd listen to Jewel, Pieces of You, before I purposely listen to a Poison album.
Yeah, I like Poison. I'm a more of a hair band guy though. Rat is my favorite band.
No, she was what? What about Kix?
I don't like a couple songs by Kix. A lot of hair bands I like, 2, 3 songs, 4 songs maybe. But Rat's my band.
Rat's your band?
First 3 albums I like. Reach for the Sky, Detonator. Detonator would have been a great album if it came out like 3 years prior, because it was a good, really hair glam type album actually, but a little late in the game, 1990.
Mm-hmm.
But I like Out of the Cellar, of course, the best. The first one. So
yeah. Well, for me, with all the extreme music, the one that kind of shines out as far as still in the metal genre, it was like Typo Negative has always been my thing. Like Typo Negative is one of the biggest bands we've always listened to growing up and stuff. Met them a bunch of different times before he passed away and shit.
I've heard of them at least.
Yeah, Typo Negative. Yeah, that's a big one. And it's not Typo Negative. So no one sounds like Typo Negative. You know what I mean? Like they're very unique, and there they are. I don't listen to most stuff with clean singing at all, especially within the metal genre, until you get into the 80s. Then you get into like all the power metal and all the thrash metal and all this stuff like that. Like there's a bunch of bands called like Hellstar that's really good. I always like to get those Metal Maniacs. I don't know if you ever saw them growing up. Metal Maniacs used to come out with compilations vinyls, and it has all the different bands they ever released. And there's a lot of power metal bands and stuff, heavy metal bands that are clean singing, stuff like that. They're basically like, it just take like Poison, just make it a little heavier, and there's pretty much bands like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I did come across a list. I don't know if it's the best heavy metal songs or heavy metal albums for the 80s or all time or something, but they had Halloween as number one.
For the Seven Keys.
That was it. It was the album.
Keeper the Seven Keys, great album. I Want Out, awesome stuff. I'm a big fan of King Diamond, Merciful Fate, stuff like that. Wasp is always
King
fun.
Diamond have a song about some grandma or something.
Grandma,
like
welcome home. Yeah, family guests and stuff like that.
My friend used to say, "Grandma, bring me your Toll House cookies," or I don't know what the hell.
Yeah, we're gonna repaint the front door soon. Let me help you out of the chair, wicked grandma. Let me touch you. Let me feel that. Yeah, it's a good song. Yeah, I'm a big King Diamond and Merciful Fate fan. See, my ex-wife, she didn't like King Diamond, but she liked Merciful Fate because it was a little heavier and it stayed away from a lot of the falsetto stuff that King Diamond does. It does do it, it just didn't do it as much.
Yeah, my friends were all in the heavier stuff. There's like Slayer and all that stuff, and I'm like, here I am, the only one in the group that like hair bands.
Yeah. For some reason, like there's just, I never really got into a lot of I think like in thrash metal they call it like the main five or whatever. With Slayer and Megadeth and fucking Metallica and Exodus and all those like bands like that. I never really got into them because I don't know, it's just something about me, and were they automatic? I just consider them a sellout band because everyone knew about them. That's why it's like, I don't want to do what everyone else does. I don't know. There's something like a lot of stuff I really didn't get into. Now, like the Whiplash EP I listened to from Metallica, it's not too bad. I just don't want to own it. And like Hell Awaits and stuff like that, and Haunting the Chapel is pretty cool by Slayer. Just not really into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Creator is a really cool band. I don't know if you ever heard them. They're pretty damn good from Germany. Sadist.
I can't remember. My friends, Nuclear Assault was one
band. Oh, great album. The Plague. That's a great album.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I had that one.
Archangel.
Actually, like Death Angel. The album The Dark is really good. Metal Church. That's another really good one. Stuff like that you can actually find on those really cool compilation albums.
One of my friends there, he was big. One was Slayer, one was Iron Maiden, and the other one's favorite band I think was Danzig or something. I don't know.
Well, you pop them all. We had when I started my band Permanent Midnight in '96. I was all black metal. My friend was all Typo Negative, and my other friend was all death metal. And we kind of came together and kind of created something that mixed in all those atmospheres, which is the thing. Yeah,
that's good. Mm-hmm. And the friend that was a Slayer fan, I came home from the army one time, and he was all of a sudden was a Smashing Pumpkins fan. I was like, how do you go from Slayer to Smashing Pumpkins?
That's see, that's what Slayer does to people. You have the ability to go into Blink 182 from Slayer, and I don't like that. You know what I mean? It's like, really? Well, now that's like, I like black metal because the thing about black metal to me is when you listen to it, I've listened to a lot of black metal though that I don't like, and that's what people need to understand. It's like, you don't just like everything that's in the genre because it's in the genre. It's just like, if I get kind of like an atmospheric feeling from the music, I'll like it. If I don't, I won't listen to it. And black metal sometimes can brood up an atmospheric feeling in me that I just dig. And I play it. I've been playing it for 20 some odd years now. So, man, it goes to show you it's something that I'm not going to give up anytime soon. I actually play the shit too. So,
how old are you?
I'm at least 2. I'm 41 now. I'll be 42.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think music is really a certain time of your youth is where you get your music from. Like, I think the puberty years are the most influential. I mean, just stuff you.
Well, I think it's too, like the emotional area is so high that it'll grab onto that. It's easy to grab. Like it's so pinnacle right there that if you find a music that triggers those emotions, it's easier to grab onto it.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and in my days, I mean, Metallica was out. I mean, I heard something about Metallica, but I didn't know who the hell Metallica was until like 1986, going to 86. Matter of fact, New Year's, I heard something about Master of Puppets. My brother was blaring it New Year's Day. I was hungover. I puked from the music actually, but I think I started listening to rock music probably about 83, 84. So you figure here comes the hair bands at that time, or back then we called them like candy metal or
glam rock, all that shit.
Whatever,
yeah. You ever see that picture of Pantera when they're dressed up as glam rockers because they started as a glam rock band?
I did see a video. That was pretty cool.
I still remember listening to my sister's cassette of the Black Album, putting it on my little Walkman, and I was riding my bike across town to do some painting at my Nana's house when I was a kid. I mean, I still remember listening and enjoying some stuff like that. But like, it was kind of funny, like looking back. It's like MTV, because MTV still played music back in the day.
Right.
They would just shove Metallica. Just like if you listen to these fucking rock radio stations, oh, here's another Metallica block of 16 songs. Yeah. Like they shoved it down your fucking throat all the time.
I can't find a rock station around here. I'm like flipping through this radio, nothing but country,
Christian rap, country Christian rap.
Yeah, like I'm in the deep South, definitely. Got some gospel, country, rap, religious channels, a couple of Hispanic channels, surprisingly, but.
But no good rock.
Yeah, I'm gonna grade this. For what it is, it's pretty good for Imperial Stout, 10.2, and I'm gonna give it an A- and a swallow.
It's pretty good. Honestly, I've been enjoying this one. It's not blowing my doors off. It's not knocking my socks off. It's not, punching my hymen in or whatever you want to call it. But at the same time, like 9 out of 10 all day long. What a quality beer. Very quality, very easy drinking, very approachable, sessionable. No trace of that 8.5, but very bright for a single hop beer. It's quite the beer. So it's a nice beer.
So on the spit or swallow scale, you might probably give that a swallow and a half, huh?
Yeah, I'll probably swallow and a half that. No problem. 9 out of 10 for sure. I won't give it the 99, but I'll give it a 9 out of 10.
All right. It's not a double swallow for sure.
Not a double swallow.
Swallow and a half.
Yeah. Yep.
I remember when we came up with that shit. My friend said, "Hey, I was like, let's do beer reviews." Me and James and Jammer and we came up with the spit or swallow scale. I swallow that. We'll never spit beer out, although we've given a couple of beer spits. But swallow and a quarter. Oh, a swarter, a swaff. What can we call a double swallow? A double swallow.
Yeah, a 10 out of 10 is a double swallow.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So even if you puke it in your mouth, you're still gonna swallow it. Double.
Yeah, I've swallowed a couple pukes. I've spit a couple out, but
retaste the rainbow. Yeah, for sure. No, it's a nice beer.
Yeah, I had 2 Nipas earlier, and they weren't too bad. They're different qualities, different things, but yeah, they're pretty good.
There's so many. The thing about like those New England IPAs, they're supposed to have a really pillowy, thick mouthfeel. And the other thing is they're always supposed to have lactose in it. And they're not really supposed to show any bitterness, but a lot of fruit flavor. But there's so many beers that just use that any IPA just to get sold. And it really dumbs down the style because they're nothing like those beers. You know what I mean? So when I see a beer, I go, oh my God, this beer is so nice. It's all this stuff and blah, 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 right? And then I look at it and it goes, well, it says it's an NIPA. So now I have to rate it like it's an NIPA, which is shit. You know what I mean? Like, but it's a great beer, but it's not that. So why'd you put it on the fucking can?
Yeah, I've had a couple that were like almost like West Coast, like really hoppy and everything. I'm like, I thought it was supposed to be a New England IPA, but
the thing is, if they would have put West Coast on it, you would have loved it. But because you had to put the ad on it, it's like, fuck, man.
Yeah, those two beers I had earlier were, I mean, they were both a little bit juicy, but the second one had like a little bit more robust taste to it, a little bit hoppier. I mean, it was a smooth hoppy,
Yeah.
but it was definitely way different than the other one, So
Yeah, this had a nice pepper and earthiness, but it certainly wasn't like bitter overall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was a nice piffiness to it and a nice peppery earthiness, but there was a nice sweetness with this one. I really wish it was a little bit more of a thicker body, but like there was a oiliness, there was a pillowiness to it, so I can't fault it for that. I'd say it's a 9 out of 10 all day long.
Pillowiness, is that like a filminess?
It's a mouthfeel. There's a little bit of a mouthfeel to it. So it has that little wheat. It has that lactose. It gives it a little something that wafts around your palate a little bit more, so it doesn't just throw down your throat. And there is a little bit of
I had earlier had a little bit of like a creaminess. Aftertaste was like a little bit of creaminess or
creaminess, pillowiness. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty
good. I like this one. I don't have to do anything for about 3 more hours, so I'm going to enjoy this one. And then I have a rack of lamb in the oven right now. I'm spoiling myself.
Oh wow, that's cool. Yeah, I was gonna do some drinking and thinking because I don't have any more beers in the fridge to review. So I have an old Murphy Stout, and I think I reviewed a steam beer, Anchor Steam earlier. I have one in the fridge.
That's a hipster
beer. I'm thinking Shagdog's top 10 videos of the week, but who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, like, PBR and Anchor Steam became hipster beers a couple years ago.
Yeah, Anchor, I couldn't believe because they got bought out by their Maytag at one time, and they sold Sky Vodka, and now they're owned by Sapporo, the Japanese beer or whatever.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. It was like 2017 they were bought by Sapporo. I was like, Jesus Christ, and talk about changing hands,
Which is funny though, because to me, it ruins the whole point of Anchor. It's there because of the history. It's there because of the founding. It's important because of this. But once you remove that, it becomes just like everywhere else. They're mediocre beers. They're substandard. Yeah. They're just beer to be drank, and you're now pointless. Congratulations.
I talked about Yingling earlier. I was like, well, the 2 daughters are going to have it eventually. And then their sons or children or whatever have it. I figure within 2 or 3 generations, England will get sold to some corporation, probably.
Absolutely, just like Rolling Rock in Latrobe, they got sold out. There you go, and they closed the place, and everyone was out of a job. Luckily, now it's a bottling and canning place for a couple other places. Yeah. But the same thing that's going to happen to Yingling at some point in time, just like at Hershey, I won't buy Hershey's anymore. They sold Hershey's.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
Yep. Oh, yeah, it's all made in Mexico now.
Really? Well, what the hell's made at the Hershey place in Pennsylvania?
It's there for the amusement park and for Chocolate Land, so they can make the little tiny ones to give out to the people who go to the thing. I don't buy Hershey's anymore.
Oh, really? So it's all made in Mexico.
Yeah, it's a Mexico product now.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Nice little Callahan. Is that a Callahan Auto shirt? Yeah, it is a Callahan Auto. That's pretty good.
Make sure you get your brake pads from there.
Your brake pads for the American working man, because that's who we are, and that's who I care about. That's good.
I think only 3 people have mentioned. So I just about my 3rd or 4th time wearing this ever at a beer review, but 3 or 4 people mentioned. So, hey, Callahan
Auto. That's right. Yeah. Me make car parts for the American working man because that's who I am. That's who I care about.
If I can remember the story he gives to the guy he's trying to make a sell to, and then he comes up with like, if I tell you that your ass, I forget what the hell he says to the guy, but it was a great.
Sniffing model airplane, says the little fairy, but we're not buying it. For your sakes, for your daughter's sakes, I think we should buy a quality product from us. Okay, I'll buy from you. What?
Yeah. Bees, killer bees. Bees.
You can take a crap in a box of fucking guaranteed, but is that really what you want? I'll
have to try that someday if I ever get pulled over drinking and driving a cop. Oh, there's bees all over. Oh.
There's bees. Oh. Can you get this sicko out of my county faster than 7 miles an hour? He was one of hers. It was butchering 100 chickens and banging a beagle. Jack off.
I just imagine the movies he would have been in all these years, and John Candy is another one also, and
Jim Belushi. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jim Belushi technically died the same year I was born. Like, no,
Wow.
I think 82, so a little bit after that. And these guys, and here's the thing is, though, they made their own personal decisions, so I don't weep over them.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing is, when people fucking OD, that's your choice, man. You chose to do that shit.
Yeah.
I know it sounds like I'm a heartless asshole, but
John Candy, I don't know if he OD'd, but
no, he had a heart attack because look, he's fucking John Candy. He had the old 96er.
Right.
Remember the old 96er? Oh.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, I remember they even had a cartoon when I was a kid called Camp Candy. I watched that too.
I heard something about it. I never seen it, but yeah, I heard something about it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was on the Family Channel. I used to watch that one as a kid.
My favorite John Candy character, even though it was small-lived, wasn't a very big character, was his part in Wally World there on National Lampoon's Vacation.
Okay, yeah.
Security guard at the Wally World. That was
Wally World. I mean, I'll tell you what. You want to know another like a Wally World thing was Uncle Dave. Oh, you Uncle Dave. Beverly Hills Cop Part 3. I really like that movie.
Was he in that one?
No, he was in the whole Wally World thing. It was like it was kind of like called like Wally World or whatever. And it had Uncle Dave. Uncle Dave. I really like that movie.
I don't remember that one. Wow.
Yeah, it's Beverly Hills Cop Part 3. I have the soundtrack on vinyl.
Oh, I like him in Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck's good. You know, my favorite John Candy movie. Well, The Great Outdoors is fantastic. We all know The Great Outdoors, but Nothing But Trouble with Chevy Chase and Demi Moore and Dan Aykroyd.
I'll have to check that one out. I can't remember.
It's when Chevy Chase and Demi Moore get a speeding violation or something like that, and they have to go to this old junkyard, which is where the courthouse is, and Dan Aykroyd plays this weird old guy who runs the courthouse, and John Candy is the sheriff, and also his sister, which is weird, and basically what they do is they load these bad guys into like a fun kind of roller coaster ride that goes into a fucking meat grinder, and then they spit out bones on the other side.
Yeah, I saw that once. I regularly remember it. Yeah,
Nothing But Trouble. Yeah.
Another good one is a little bit more emotional. Is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Planes, Trains, and Automobile. That's a good one too.
Thanksgiving Day movie ever.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's with Chevy Chase. Not Chevy Chase. That was with Steve Martin.
Steve Martin, yeah. Yeah,
Steve Martin. That's good too. I like that one. Trying to think. I liked him in Home Alone because when we were in, my mom took us to see Home Alone, and we weren't near the area. We had to take a pretty good drive, over an hour drive, to get to the Steamtown Mall, but they were showing Home Alone, so we went in there and watched Home Alone in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and then all of a sudden, that lady, the mom, Carolyn O'Hare, I think her name is her in real life. She comes in and she goes, "I've been to here. I've been to here. I've been here. Where the hell am I now?" He went, "Scranton," and the whole fucking place went, "Woo!" That was good.
That reminds me, when I was in the Army, I was stationed in Panama. I went to a Panamanian movie theater. Harrison Ford's Clear and Present Danger, I think was that one. That character. Red October character, whatever the hell the guy's name is. But anyhow, and that one he's in Panama. So when they were in Panama, all the Panamanians are like, woo, same thing. Mm-hmm. And it was really weird. He was meeting up with a CIA guy, and the guy had a beard, it was William Dafoe, and he had a beard or whatever. And there was a lot of guys down there in Panama like that. When I went to a bar or something downtown Panama, you see some Americans in there with
the beard.
Looking away, I was like, wow, they could have been CIA or something. Who knows?
Right. William Dafoe, it's really funny because he is an ugly motherfucker. And they somehow, through the grace of movie-making magic, have always picked the perfect ugly motherfucker to play like Nosferatu. First, it was Max Schreck. Nailed it. Then they picked Reggie Nadler. Nailed it. Then they picked William Dafoe. Nailed it. Like, it's just crazy. It's just they picked the perfect person to play that role.
Yeah, he was the Green Goblin too. So
Yeah, the Green Goblin. Yeah, he played that too.
Yeah, and he was Sergeant whatever in Platoon. Yeah.
See, I never watched that movie. No,
you never saw Platoon? Wow, I used to like when I was in the Army. I used to like say the words, all the different lines from different things in the movie, and people in my unit that we were drinking party, I was like, yeah, don't even kill Bonds, it's Bonds, or whatever from Platoon. They all start getting sick of me. And my roommate came up and said, hey, they said, I never heard this word before, but they're like, he's like, I forgot the word, some type of word that I can't remember it now, but some type of word that means they're going to jump you. They said if you keep talking, saying lines from the movie, they're going to jump you. But whatever the special word was, I was like, what? What the fuck's that word mean? And he said, I forgot what the word was actually, but they used. But he said, yeah, it means they're going to jump you. I was like, yeah, motherfuckers. I was drunk, drinking.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Platoon. I used to quote all the lines from Platoon. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What's the one that Arlie Ermy was in with the drill sergeant shit?
Oh, that was Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket. That's right. Yeah, is that the smell of napalm in the morning, or is that a different one?
Oh, that was Apocalypse Now.
Apocalypse Now. Yeah. Are you a pool boy? Or are you a assassin? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Full Metal Jacket. My friend went to Marines. My best friend in high school, and he was watching that movie. He went straight into Marines like 2 weeks after high school. So we graduated. Within 2 weeks, he was off to the Marines right before Desert Storm, and he went to Desert Storm. But he was watching that movie constantly. I was like, Jesus Christ. I knew all the lines from it back then because I was like, watch it. Let's watch it again. I was like, Jesus Christ.
That's my problem with anyone who I've ever watched a movie with is if I've watched it enough, I know all the words, so I have to stop myself from saying it.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's hard for you to, like, if you just know what's happening, you're like, Well, I spent so many years watching it and reciting it with the movie by accident, just because I was doing it. I was alone. That it's hard not to do it when you're with somebody. You're like, oh,
It's a Wonderful Life. James Stewart movie. First time I saw that, I woke up, like, me and my brothers woke up early Christmas morning. I was probably like 7 or 8 years old. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. We get down there, Christmas presents are on our tree or whatever, but we can't open them yet because we get our ass whooped.
You get your ass whooped, yeah.
We're watching TV. It's a Wonderful Life song, but it's the part where he wishes he was dead, and Clarence jumps in the river. He jumps in the save. So it starts right there. That's where I first saw it. And you wish you were never born. And I was like, what is this? A Twilight Zone movie?
Yeah, or whatever? Yeah. Outer Limits.
Yeah. And from there on, I was hooked to the It's a Wonderful Life. So I knew all the words to that shit. So I was quoting that shit all the time back when I was younger. Yeah.
One thing I can say about this beer now that I had a chance to really get it in the system, it's giving me a little bit of that cucumber burp, which I really don't like.
Oh, cucumber burp.
That like green cucumber burp, it's doing that, and I'm not a fan of that. So that I would take that to a swallow and a quarter now, as I've been dealing with it. Like, I would not want to go back to that just as I don't like that cucumber burp.
Well, PA Brew News, I'd like to thank our 2 viewers for watching us all this time. No comments, but obviously they're interested or something. I don't know.
That's all right. It's all good.
But I'm going to close this out. We're at 34 minutes.
Oh, yeah. That's good. We did a good job. I'm going to do another beer review. I have time to do another beer review before I have to do anything, so that's great. Thank you for inviting me, good sir.
Yeah. That's my pleasure. Hey, you want to do another one, or I got a drinking and thinking video I might do. I don't know. If you got another beer review.
I have another beer review, to do.
Hey, I could pull it up. I don't have another beer to review, but I can re-review. I got an Oktoberfest I can re-review. Yeah, what the hell? It's 3rd time.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm just cooking my rack of ribs or rack of lamb rather, so I don't care.
Check on your lambs and I'll set up a new video.
Silence of the Lambs.
So you gotta put potato skins on your face. You gotta go silence of the lambs.
Just like Jim Carrey in Cable Guy. Oh yeah.
I did that shit when I was like 18 years old. I was like, silence of the lambs.
The lambs are screaming.
Yeah. All right, I'll send you a link on the next one.
All right, I'll get some lotion and we'll figure it out.
Put it in the basket.
Yep.
Yes. All right. Thanks for watching the Spirit Swallow Beer Review. We'll see you on the next one, 2 viewers.
Cheers.